What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with another episode of Predict the Prem, where we predict every single Premier League game in the upcoming game weeks. How this scoring works is we get 5 points for correct scoreline, 3 points for correct scoreline and both teams to score, and 1 point for a correct result. I'm with my brother Ben. He's at home today. Unfortunately, can't be in the studio, so we're doing this remotely. But the scores, as things stand, are 347 to 344 to Ben. How are you feeling going into this game week?
Yeah, not great. Sitting at home with COVID at the moment, so I would prefer to be back with you in the studio and being at the game this weekend. But unfortunately, that can't be the case. But in terms of the Predict the Prem, I'm creeping up on you, man. I'm creeping up on you. So yeah, I'm feeling confident.
All right, I'm still ahead, so that's the most important thing. Let's start off with the first game of the game week, and that is Friday night at St. James's Park. Newcastle take on Wolves. Looks like we've both gone for the exact same scoreline, 1-1. Obviously, Newcastle looking to bounce back from that drubbing that we gave them last week, and you're thinking that's going to happen?
Yeah, I think they'll somewhat bounce back. I think the last two scorelines between the clubs have been 1-1. I'm going for the same scoreline. I think that Newcastle on the back of 3 defeats, I think they'll bounce back in terms of getting some results. Wolves, on the other hand, a bit hit and miss, and I think they'll meet their match this week against a good Newcastle side. So that's why I've gone 1-1.
Yeah, Wolves a bit. 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5 games. Still there and thereabouts when it comes to top 7, though. So they'll feel like they can still get European football. But I think top 4 is definitely out of reach for them. Next up in this early kickoff on Saturday, we head to Goodison Park as Everton take on Manchester United. I've gone for 1-1. You've gone for 1-0 to Man United. I'm obviously being optimistic for Everton's point of view. But look, it's a bit of a weird one for Everton because last couple games, they were 1-1 with West Ham. They were 2-1 up against Burnley. They've given them both away, end up losing both games. Man United not in the best form themselves, but you feeling United will have too much for this Everton team?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I really couldn't pick this one. I was toying between a 1-0 Everton win to a 1-1, back to 1-0 to Man United. I finally settled on 1-0 to Man United because I think they'll just have just a bit too much for this Everton side. I think they are a bit of a better team or a different team at Goodison Park, which that's why I only went for 1-0. If this was at Old Trafford, I would have gone for probably more of a resounding victory for Manchester United. But with the top 4 race still very much wide open, Man United only 3 points from top 4. They need to get to grips with things, and I think that they'll get back to winning ways this weekend.
Yeah, I've just gone for Everton to muster up something at Goodison Park because they have been slightly better there. They're going to have, I'm sure they're going to have some sort of fight in them if they're going to try and make some sort of battle to stay away from relegation at the end of the season. So I've gone for them to get a point, but I don't necessarily think this point is going to be indicative of a great survival or great escape for Everton, because I still think there's a lot of tougher tests to come. But I think they'll get a point which might make them feel a bit good at the time. But I think there'll be tougher tests, because I think United are a bit all over the place at the moment. So that's why I've gone for a draw. But look, Lampard, man, do you think if they lose, he could be gone?
I mean, you can't bring in a manager to keep you up and then sack him a month later. I think that they're going to wait till the end of the season. Who are they going to bring in?
But if they're really going to go down, if they're really going to go, if they're looking like they're actually going to go down, which they, it's starting to look that way, or it could be looking that way. Can they afford to keep him in place of maybe getting someone in short term to kind of get them to safety?
Who can they get in?
I don't know. Big Sam? Yeah.
They've been down that route before.
So they get Bilic in.
I just can't see them sacking Lampard.
Maybe. But do you think they're willing to go down with Lampard?
I don't think they're willing to go down with anyone. I think it's just the situation they're in. Even if Lampard goes, they've got very, very tough fixtures. I think in the next 4 games, they got Man United, Leicester, Liverpool, and another really tough game as well. I think Chelsea in there. So it's going to be a very tough task for anyone. I never thought Lampard was the right man first and foremost, and I think he gets the chop when they do go down.
Interesting. I've got a feeling with if they've got 5 or 6 games to save themselves. How many games have they got? 9 now. That they might sack him. They might panic sack him if they look like getting relegated. Anyway, next game. We go to the Emirates as Arsenal take on Brighton Hove Albion at home, off the back of a very damaging 3-0 defeat to Crystal Palace. They're also, Brighton usually give them a good game, Arsenal, and they've struggled against Brighton for a few years. I've gone for Arsenal just to shave it 1-0 just due to Brighton's horrendous form and them lacking the ability to score goals at the moment. But I think Arsenal might get a lucky penalty or something and just get over the line. You have gone for 0-0. I wouldn't, honestly, that result wouldn't surprise me considering how the injuries Arsenal have. But what are your thoughts going into that one?
Yeah, so obviously Arsenal put in an absolutely shocking display at Crystal Palace on Monday night. With Thomas Partey out, who's been very central to everything that they've been doing, with Kieran Tierney out as well, who's been a big player for them over the past couple of years, bringing in Tavares and Lokonga. I don't know if they're going to be up for the fight, to be honest. I really don't. Yeah, I get the point that Brighton have been absolutely shocking. Maybe they might be on the worst form in like the Football League, or one of the worst forms in the Football League, that's for sure. But I just cast my mind back to that Everton game. I keep saying it, but that Everton game, Everton were on shocking run of form under Benitez, losing every game, played Arsenal, beat Arsenal, and then went back to losing every single game. And I've got a feeling this game's got a bit of a similar feeling to it, because Brighton coming into it in the same run of form. Arsenal, they're a very streaky team as well. So like when they win a few in a row, and then when they lose a few in a row as well. So I haven't gone for them to lose this one. But I do feel like they can drop points here. I really do.
Yeah, I'm hoping you're right. But with Brighton's horrendous form, I just can't. Look, I think the funny thing is, Brighton, even though they're on terrible form, they still have conceded less goals than us this season in the whole.
Yes, mad.
So like defensively, they're still not terrible defensively. It's just they can't score for toffee at the moment. They really struggling to score goals. So let's see if they can frustrate Arsenal on the weekend. Next up, Southampton against Chelsea at St Mary's. Chelsea now 7 goals in 2 games they've conceded on the end of a Benzema masterclass in the Champions League. Man. Honestly, those 2 headers are 2 of the best headers I've ever seen in my lifetime. Incredible stuff. But Chelsea, we've both backed them to turn it around. Thomas Tuchel was asked after the game, now you have to go to Madrid, and when he said, no, we don't have to go to Madrid, we have to go to St Mary's. That's all we have to think about. So he's got his mind fully on this game. We've both gone for them to win. I've gone 2-0, you've gone 2-1. Do you think they are in danger of dropping points again?
Yeah, definitely. They definitely are. I mean, Southampton on bad form after going on that mad run. They are on bad form, but they do seem to turn up when they play the bigger side, Southampton. So I got a feeling it's going to be a good game of football. It's not going to be all Chelsea's way by any stretch of the imagination. I do think Chelsea will end up winning the game clearly, as I've gone 2-1 to Chelsea, but there definitely is a danger of a banana skin here for Chelsea. But I think on the back of the 2 really bad losses, they've got to respond here, really.
Yeah, I just feel like 7 goals conceded in the last 2 games. Tuchel's not going to accept that, and he's going to say to them, look, you're keeping a clean sheet today, and I don't care what you do. You're keeping a clean sheet. So that's why I've got a feeling that Chelsea are going to tighten up. They might rejig things.
He seems a bit lost at the moment, Tuchel. He seems a bit lost with what's going on at Chelsea. He doesn't really... I don't think he actually knows what's going on or can put his finger on what's actually gone wrong, and I think that I can't. I mean, if you look at Chelsea, the back end of last season looked unbeatable. They started the season in the same ilk. And I don't know what's happened to them. Suddenly, they've just fallen off the rails. I know they won every game last month, but they're nowhere near as convincing as they looked at the start of the season and the back end of last season.
Yeah, they have won. They have won 4 of their last 5, though. But the game against Newcastle, they probably shouldn't have won, should they? And then against Brentford and Madrid, they've been absolutely annihilated in those past 2 games. So definitely has gone wrong of late. But Tuchel's a brilliant manager, and I've got a feeling I've got a feeling it's a bit like Spurs when we finished 4th and got to the final under Pot. Just like, I reckon they'll just scrape by in the league, get enough points for top 4, and they'll put all their eggs in the Champions League basket, and they can get. I know it's going to be tough to get through against Madrid, but if they can, then they're going to have full focus on that. But look, they've still got the FA Cup as well. Look, I can't see them winning by 2 goals, but I think there are going to be chances for them. I don't think this Madrid side is as good as people make out. I think Benzema is on the form of his life. I found Vinicius is a very decent player, but they can be got out. They're old. If Chelsea start fast and put energy into the performance, they can win that game. I really believe that.
Yeah, but if Real Madrid go 1-0 up, then it's going to be very hard for Chelsea.
But no away goals, All right.
Benzema scored 10 in his last 3, mate.
10 in 3. Is that
He's
right?
got no, not 10. It's 8. 8 in his last 3.
That's ridiculous. He's got 37 goals this season in 36 games.
Yeah.
So he's in the form of his life. All right,
Best
next
number
up,
9 in world football right now.
hard to argue. Hard to argue with that. Next up, we got a big relegation battle down at the bottom at Vicarage Road. Watford play Leeds United. I've gone 2-2. You've gone for a Watford win. You must have seen Roy Hodgson's assist in the training in midweek. Probably giving you the Watford win.
That Hodgson assist blew my mind a little bit. I was like, what the hell? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, there was a brilliant pass from him in training to João Pedro. You're thinking that Watford will have enough to beat Jesse March's Leeds in this one?
Yeah, I do, because I think that Leeds are that much further ahead than Watford. I mean, this game is absolutely humongous for Watford, and I think Roy Hodgson will draw them up on that. Leeds, I mean, look, they've been winning a few games of late, Leeds, but I still haven't been that impressed with them.
Unbeaten
Watford
in 3.
as well. I know they're unbeaten in 3, but still haven't been that impressed. And I think this game is so big for Watford. I think the crowd will be behind them, and I think that that Watford will pull through with 3 points in this. And even if Watford pull through with 3 points with this, they still got a long way to go in terms of saving themselves. And Leeds are looking okay at the moment. I mean, they're still a bit of danger, but they're looking okay.
Yeah, I think it could be a bit of do or die for Watford, to be honest, because the games are starting to run out to save themselves, and 8 games left going into this weekend. If they win, and Burnley beat Norwich, which we'll talk about later, they could really be dragging Leeds back into it. So that's why I feel like Leeds are going to make sure they don't lose this game. But Watford, it's a massive game at Vicarage Road, and I think both teams see this as an opportunity to win. So that's why I've gone for goals and I've gone for 2-2. I just think both teams are gonna kind of go for it a bit, and I see goals in this game, but I can't separate them as much as I think Leeds are probably the better side. I think Watford are going to turn up, but I can't see them either in the winning. We go to Villa Park in the next game as Spurs travel to Aston Villa in what is a ginormous game in Tottenham season. We need to keep our consistency if we're going to be serious challengers for top 4 and stay. Look, obviously we're reacting to whatever Arsenal do earlier in the day. You've gone 2-0, I've gone 3-1. You're going Tottenham for a clean sheet in this one.
Yeah, I think that if we don't concede from a set piece, I think we will keep a clean sheet. But obviously, there is always that threat from a set piece. Phil Coutinho is a very good deliverer of the ball. Look, I think Aston Villa are a bit on the beach at the moment from what I'm seeing. I watched their game against Arsenal. I thought they were terrible. And I think they've lost, 3 in a row now, Aston Villa. So I think that on any one-off game, they've got the quality to provide the result and provide the performance. But having looked at what they've been like the last couple of games, I can see a 2-0 victory for Tottenham. I really can.
Yeah, I think for Villa, they have lost 3 in a row, 2-1 to West Ham, 1-0 to Arsenal and 2-1 to Wolves. Very tight defeats in all 3. Very similar teams as us as well in around that top 4 race. They've lost 3 in a row. So I don't expect a resounding victory. I just think Tottenham are on fire at the moment. So I do think Villa will score, but I think our firepower at the moment is going to be too strong for them, and I can't see them being able to hold us out. But I do expect a bit of a reaction on the back of 3 defeats, because before then they beat Southampton 4-0 and Leeds 3-0, so they were on the up. But I think maybe when they face the better teams, they just struggle with that balance and getting it right. But as I said, they have all been close games, only lost by the 1 goal. So hopefully Spurs can change that.
It's going to be interesting because, we said coming into the Arsenal game, we're going to see how Arsenal respond to the pressure of, being in 4th or not being in 4th. And I want to see how Spurs respond to this pressure now, because it's the first time we've been in 4th since we won 3 games at the start of the season. So the pressure is on Spurs now for the first time in this top 4 race.
I agree with you. Completely agree. On to Sunday, Brentford at home to West Ham United. West Ham obviously play Lyon tonight in the Europa League. Brentford in very good form for their standards, won 3 of the last 5. I think Eriksen has won every game he has started for Brentford so far. We've both gone for Brentford wins. I've gone 2-1 and you've gone 3-1. I've gone for Brentford win just because I think West Ham, their mind won't be on this game. I think they lost to Brentford early in the season, didn't they, at home, which was a bad bad defeat for them. But I think with Eriksen in the side, and in the home crowd behind them, I think Brentford are going to be well up for it. And I think they've got the quality to really hurt West Ham. And if West Ham, whatever result they get on Thursday, their concentration's fully going to be on that second leg, which I believe is in the midweek. So I can't see. I can't see West Ham maybe getting a result, but I think Brentford are going to come up trumps.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I think this game tonight against Lyon is going to, be very taxing for them. They're not really used to playing European football, so I think that we saw after they played that game last time in Europe, they were dead on their legs against us, and I expect something similar here against a Brentford side who do a lot of running. Not only that, but they've got Christian Eriksen in the side, and like you say, they've won every game since he's been in there, and I expect another Christian Eriksen masterclass on the weekend.
Me too. I really believe he's taken them up levels, just him being in the time. I think he's given them a shot on the arm because I think they were drifting a bit before he came, and since he's been in the side, they've been excellent. Next one at the King Power, Leicester at home to Crystal Palace. Palace on the high due to a very good victory against Arsenal last time out. Leicester got a very creditable draw away at Old Trafford, but have been last 3 games a loss, a win, and a draw, so a bit inconsistent. But they've been a bit better than they were early in the season. Palace obviously in very good form, unbeaten in 5 in the FA Cup semi-final as well. But with the FA Cup semi-final a week away, do you think they might have one eye on that? At the moment, we both have the game finishing 2-2, so we've got the same result. But do you think Palace might have an eye on that FA Cup semi-final? It's a big game for them, that one.
I'm not sure because it seemed as though against Arsenal they were all playing for their spot in the semi-final. So I'm not sure if it's going to be the same, or maybe because it's that much closer, maybe they will have an eye on it. So obviously Crystal Palace are on very good form at the moment. Absolutely battered Arsenal, battered Everton the week before in the FA Cup. Leicester, they've only won 1 game in their last 4, if you include Europe as well. I mean, they lost to Arsenal 2-0. They beat Brentford when Christian Eriksen wasn't playing, but on the last game they drew at Old Trafford. I mean, I can't really separate these two sides. They're sitting next to each other in mid-table in the league. Neither of them really have that much to play for. So I think it's just going to be a free-flowing game with a lot of goals, and it's going to end up 2-2.
Yeah, I agree. I think both teams at the moment are liking to attack. Both teams are better attacking. And I think Palace might be one of the form teams in the league at the moment, but away from home against a difficult Leicester team, I think Leicester will have some opportunities. I think Maddison's playing quite well at the moment as well. And they've got Barnes and Iheanacho, some good players up front. So I expect them to hurt Palace, but Palace will probably give as good as they get as they're showing at the moment. So I've gone for 2-2 as well.
If Vieira's smart, he will rest a few players this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he does that, or if it's 1 week before the semi and you think, okay, go out and show as much as you can to get that starting spot, because it's one of the biggest games in Palace's history, probably. I know they got to the final back in 2016, didn't they? They lost to United in the final, but I think if they can get to the final again, what a massive and they've beaten City before this season. They've beaten and drawn City, so if they play City in the final, they'll definitely feel like they have a chance. All right. Next up at Carrow Road, Burnley are going to play Norwich. Obviously Norwich, 4 losses and a draw in what is probably they're absolutely doomed at the bottom. They're currently 7 points away from Everton, with Everton having a game in hand. Burnley won that 6-pointer at Turf Moor in midweek and coming back from behind from 2-1. And Sean Dyche said after the game that Everton don't know how to win a game. He said he was very confident of winning that one. But do you see Burnley, will that be a catalyst for them to regain that form they showed just before they beat us?
Yeah, definitely. Sean Dyche knows how to navigate this end of the season to keep Burnley up. He's done it time and time again. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough to keep them up, but I think they're going to make a good fist of it, that's for sure. And I think that game against Everton, that win, the way they won it, will give them a lot of motivation to come into this game, and I think they'll win. I don't think it's going to be a resounding victory because it's Burnley and what have you, and like Weghorst has gone off the boil a bit since he first came. But I do think they'll get something from somewhere and seal Norwich's fate.
Yeah, I think so, and I think Norwich probably, the writing's been on the wall for them for a while, but if they do lose this weekend, I think they'll probably, I can't see them picking up another point from now to the end of the season if they do lose this. I think belief will probably be all gone if it's not gone already. So I think Burnley are going to win this, and they'll be buoyed from that victory in midweek. So I've gone for a 2-goal victory for them. And last game of the weekend, Man City against Liverpool at the Etihad, a title 6-pointer. Couldn't be much bigger, could it? When it comes to this game. Interestingly enough, we've actually both gone for the same scoreline again. We've both gone for a Liverpool victory, 2-1. I mean, Liverpool obviously absolutely on fire. Man City as well playing very well, but in their last 5 games they have lost to us, and they've drawn to Crystal Palace. And Liverpool obviously winning all 5, and they're not without conceding a goal as well. Yeah, 5 wins in a row without conceding a goal. They looked electric in midweek as well. I think they're the form team, and I think that added depth has given Klopp's side a bit more unpredictability than they had before, and that's why I think with Liverpool against Man City, a lot of the times it's been they go 100 miles an hour, and then the only way Man City kind of overcome that is waiting for Liverpool to burn out a bit, and then they hit them with what they can do. But I think now with Jota and Luis Diaz in reserve, or Firmino or whoever doesn't play, they can sustain that pressure for a lot longer, in my opinion. So that's why I've gone for Liverpool to turn up at the Etihad and win.
Yeah, I think that Liverpool are they're coming into form at they've been on form all season, but they're coming into unplayable form right at the right time of the season. Man City, look, I think Man City, obviously they're getting results and playing well, but I don't think they're playing anywhere near as well as Liverpool at the moment. I really don't. Like you say, with the players with Diaz that has come in, it's added something extra to that Liverpool attack. You saw it in the Champions League. I mean, in the Champions League, they were breathtaking. They really were, Liverpool.
3-1 flatted Benfica, didn't they?
Oh, massively. And they've been breathtaking for a while now, Liverpool. And I think Man City, I got a feeling that Pep could try and overcomplicate a few things this weekend as well, as he likes to do sometimes in the big games. I don't know how he's going to handle this Liverpool side. I mean, it could easily be a draw, but I'm going with the form side, and I'm going for a Liverpool 2-1 win.
Yeah, it was a draw early in the season, wasn't it? One of the games of the season. But I just get the feeling that it's going to be very difficult for City to contain this Liverpool side right now, the way they're playing. And I think they both have as well Champions League second legs in midweek. But, City only 1-0 up, but a lot more precarious position going away Atletico, a lot more to think about than Liverpool, who are pretty much already through in their Champions League game, with them being 3-1 up against Benfica, and then come to Anfield. So I don't know, I think City are going to have a lot to think about going to this weekend, so that's why I feel like Liverpool have got this.
Yeah, and you've got to look at Mo Salah as well. I mean, no one's really talking about it, but for club and country, 1 goal in his last 9 games, Mo Salah. I mean, if that was Harry Kane, everyone would be tearing the house down, but because Liverpool have so many different options, it doesn't really matter to them. So so that's that. I mean, Mo Salah, I'll back him to get a goal this weekend though.
Yeah, and he scored one of the goals of the season earlier against Man City, didn't he? The star men, we have gone for the same guy, Heung-min Son. We've got a lot of the same we have this week. It was a tough one to pick a star man because there wasn't a standout fixture, but I was torn between Kane and Son. I thought I'd go for a Tottenham player. So I was actually going to go for Kulu. Yeah. You're going to go for Kulu. Interesting. Yeah. I think Son's the form guy at the moment for Tottenham in terms of goal scoring. So that's why I've gone for him. And I think away from home, hopefully Villa leave a bit of space for him. So I've gone for Son to get on the score sheet.
Yeah, I was just, when I was picking my star man, I just had that Son when he broke his arm at Villa Park just replaying through my head when he scored those 2 goals that day. Obviously, he scored that last-minute goal from the halfway line where did he take it around the keeper or dinked it over the keeper? I can't really remember.
But he slid it against Villa Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just slid it past Pepe Reina, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So he's got previous at Villa Park, so I'm backing him to do it again.
Yeah, me too. All right, well, that is it for Predict the Prem. Obviously, I have a 3-point lead going into this week. It's slender, but it's still there. It's still ahead. That's the most important thing. Hopefully, I can extend it going into this week. But let us know your predictions in the comment section below and your star men. Who do you think is going to score this weekend? Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Spurs.